Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Crypto City. And now, please welcome to the stage your host, CityGirl.
Welcome, everyone. Thank you for coming to tonight's episode of Crypto City. We're going to be joined by world builder and Web3 enthusiast Nelo in a bit, who was recommended to us by one of our regular audience members, William. Just a reminder that if you or anyone you think would be a good fit for the show, please reach out to us because we can discuss setting up a date to bring you on. We're always welcoming new guests and ideas. And we love to see audience participation. And I'm really excited to bring on some new people in 2023. But before we bring her out, let's talk about a couple of things that are going on in the greater multiverse. We all know that more corporate brands have been getting into Web3 and crypto over the last couple of years, and there have been some really big names who've been coming on board. In 2020, we had the NBA, which was pretty impressive from a stature standpoint. But in 2021, we had Adidas, Coca-Cola, Gucci, Burberry, Coach, Campbell's, Ray-Ban, Burger King, Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, like all of these people joined on. And then in 2023, we added huge names like Nike and Bud Light and Starbucks and Reddit and the NFL. So just to name a few of the most impressive brands, even Coachella was part of it. And then, of course, there's Meta, formerly known as Facebook, good old Zuckerberg. So despite the fact that there's been a downturn in pretty much in all the markets, there's still some huge players that are not turning away at this point. In fact, they're growing and they're coming up with new and more exciting things. So let's see what 2023 has to offer. And piggybacking off of that, last week, MasterCard announced their new Artist Accelerator program. So this is a program that's Web3 based and designed to help DJs, producers, musicians, etc., with tools to help them create their musical journey in the digital economy. They'll have special access to events and they'll be connected with mentors that can help them. They'll learn how to brand themselves through experiences like minting NFTs and how to represent themselves within the digital world. But that's not all. Although it's a space for creators, that they're looking for fans to come on as well and access this exclusive Web3 content. There'll be more to come on this program later in 2023, so keep your ears open because you never know who you might connect with. You could end up being in the audience for someone who ends up becoming a multi platinum star down the road. Pretty cool that we're all going to have access to this. And lastly, touching on a cryptocurrency news, the popular crypto wallet MetaMask has actually joined forces to collaborate with PayPal, and they're allowing people to now purchase Ethereum using PayPal as a payment method. They're hoping that it will not only allow people to buy the cryptocurrency, but to allow them to learn a little bit more about the Web3 ecosystem. They're also, if you're familiar with them, PayPal previously allowed the transfer of cryptocurrencies throughout its platform, but now this is an additional feature. And most of the rollout won't take place throughout the US until, across the year. It's going to happen slowly, but pretty exciting to see that it's becoming more accessible once again to everyone. So all of this stuff that we're seeing here in Web3, in the metaverse and everything, it's pretty much available to everyone, which is really exciting because none of us are going to get left behind if we want to be on that train. So now let's bring out our guest to hear about her amazing journey in world building throughout the metaverse. Please throw up a warm round of emojis for Nello. Welcome, Nello. Thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Hello. Thank
How are
you. Thank you
you?
for having me.
Of course, I'm super excited to hear about the work you've done. I did take a look at your portfolio, and you've created some amazing venues and some pretty interesting NFTs as well. Were you always
Thank you.
involved in design, or is this something that came after you got involved in virtual reality?
Actually, I've been involved in design for well over 20 years now. I started
Wow.
when I was about 13 years old,
Okay.
and I've just enjoyed it ever since. Started out in graphic design as well as a little bit of web development, and
Okay.
as well as building hardware. So, yeah. That's how I got my start and just
Love
kind of
it.
accelerated through there and just an overall creative. I will say that. And all of my creative talents, I've just gathered them over the years, whether it's interior design or art or whatever the fashion was. Um, just gather it all up and bring it in here.
Love it. I love that because everybody's creative ideas vary so much, and it's interesting to see, what each person brings to the table. Now, so you're
Absolutely.
building worlds. That's a big part of what
Yes.
you do, and you build them
Mhm.
not only in Horizons but also in AltSpace. You've built on both.
Yes, AltSpace as well as have a platform over in the multiverse as well, and has done a little bit of work over in Decentraland. So yeah,
Okay, nice. Now, most of the work that's done over here in AltSpace is, with Blender and Unity. Obviously, Unity is like the center of everything. But are you
correct.
using the same type of apps in your work over there,
Are you talking about in Horizons or in
or
which platform?
in across the platforms? Is it pretty much
Well,
the
in
same, or are they all a little
Decentraland,
different?
yes. Yeah, well, Decentraland, yes, of course. But once when it comes to multiverse, they pretty much have their own online platform that you can utilize and kind of create with. Um,
Okay.
and it's kind of similar to AltSpace. We'll say that where you do use online to create as well as stand inside of your world and create as well. Um, with Horizon Worlds, that's a completely different platform.
Okay.
So it's either something that you have or and you just have to continue to work at it. That's one thing I do encourage is people to stay consistent in there because we do originally have 15 shapes that we use to create all of those worlds that you've seen that I've created.
Okay.
Um, and now we actually have an asset library, which does help, a little bit more with far as decorating people's worlds who are not used to world building. So that does make it a little bit more accessible for people to come in and easily create a world and get their services started.
So when I was looking at your website, I noticed that some of the
Mhm.
worlds that it showed that you built on there were actually pretty elaborate and nice looking. The few times I've been to Horizon, I wasn't really impressed with what I saw. Some of the worlds were kind of plain, but then I saw yours and I was like, okay, well, if this is what can be created over there. So is that kind of what you mean by stick with it? Because you've created some things that are
Absolutely.
gorgeous. I mean,
Thank
was it a
you.
winery that I saw over there? Did you
Yes,
create a
I
winery?
actually
Okay.
have a total of two wineries that I've created and three
Okay.
craft brewery and spirit distilleries that I have, as
Okay.
well as a therapist office that will be released very soon, therapist in meditation.
Okay.
Um, just quite a few different worlds, as well as company builds that I've done over the past few months. And yeah, it's been an amazing journey. I will say that.
So over the past couple of months, so you're actually building Fast and Furious too. So is this
Mhm.
become like a full-time job for you?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So this
Yeah.
is we've had a few people who've actually like decided this is going to be, this is my career now. So it's interesting
Mhm.
to hear somebody talk about it and be successful with it. What
Yeah.
types of clients do you engage with when you're, being requested to build these worlds?
For the most part, I can't talk so much about the clients.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, just the
I
type.
will
Like,
say
are
that,
they
but
mostly like
for the ones that
corporate
I
or?
can share with,
Mhm,
like I mentioned, I do have a winery.
mhm.
And what the Alethea Winery um, pretty much does over in Horizon Worlds, as well as we just opened up um, a space over in Multiverse.
Okay.
So, as to where people can actually set up offices and things like that underneath our platform. So,
Mhm.
what we have done over at Alethea Winery is we're working with a company, a wine company by the name of P. Harrell Wines, and amazing company out of the San Francisco Bay Area, and has fabulous wine that we actually feature. Um, we've been featuring them for a few months now, working with them for a few months, but for the most part, we feature different wines once a month on our platform.
Okay.
And we have different events, immersive experiences, and things like that surrounded around the company.
Okay, so a little bit of user interaction, getting the community involved, learn a little bit more
Absolutely.
about their wine, maybe, figure out if
Mm,
there's one that they might enjoy, and, at the same
absolutely.
time get to enjoy the beautiful world that you created. That's
Yes.
great. Now, the companies that you're dealing with, are any of them actually conducting, other than like entertainment or interaction with the communities? Are any of them actually conducting business, like meetings and stuff, like conferences, having a conference call, actually meeting with people within the metaverse?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I built several different offices for people, and they're doing very well, whether it's temp agencies or whatever,
Okay.
different types of places like that. The companies are one thing that I will say is they know what they want, and they're very successful at accomplishing what they are meant to do on the particular platform. I heard you speak about MasterCard a little bit earlier, and
Mm,
they actually have a world over in
okay.
Horizon Worlds. So can definitely see where those services that you mentioned earlier will eventually translate over into Horizon Worlds seamlessly and
That's
easily,
exciting.
especially considering there are several different studios and artists have different shows and platforms and things like that. Um, so yeah,
That'll be
absolutely.
so interesting. Oh, I can't wait. That's great. I might have to
Oh
spend more
yes.
time in Horizon. You might be maybe winning me over just a little bit. Maybe might just have to take a tour and come over and see your world. That might be. Maybe we'll do
Absolutely,
that one day. Maybe we'll have a
absolutely.
little tour to Horizon to see your worlds.
Yeah, actually, on Wednesdays, I have a event every single Wednesday at 10 p.m. Eastern, called Rhymes and Wine Wednesday at the Alethea Winery. Um,
Okay.
and yes, that's where we feature live performances as well as poets and a little bit of comedy. So it's an
Might have to
amazing
check it
time.
out.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And our Tuesday events with Blue the Key, he's actually doing a Prince review. He did
Oh,
started it
wow.
last week. Yeah, so it's been absolutely amazing. He does a beautiful, beautiful job. So yeah,
Nice.
it's awesome.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, now you've given us all some things. If you're not busy on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, there you go. Something to do. That's
Absolutely,
great. So, like, now you also had some NFTs listed on your website. So tell
absolutely.
us about the NFTs that you've done, and what are they out there right now, still, available, or is it something you did specifically for a project?
Those are the ones that are listed on the site. Those are more so passion projects.
Okay.
Yet I do produce different NFTs for various wine brands and spirit brands currently. So
Okay.
that's been an amazing journey starting that.
Now, on the NFTs, are they listed on OpenSea?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And is it something, moving forward? Obviously, you're going to continue with the world building. It's what you do. Do you see yourself doing more of, like you just said, like that's a passion project, so it's something for you? Do you feel that, you might get more involved in doing some stuff just for pure enjoyment, not just for work? Or is your schedule pretty busy and it's
Oh,
all work, work,
yes.
work?
That's well, right now, it's definitely a lot of work, work, work. But I definitely will get back into creating NFTs strictly for, myself and just as, like I said a little bit earlier, passion project. Um, right now, schedule has been very, busy. I
Yeah,
will say
it's a good
that,
thing. It's a
which has
good
been
problem.
great. It's a beautiful thing. I will say that. We're actually hosting a conference. Um, William and I are actually hosting a
Oh, okay.
conference next month in Horizon Worlds, which will be
Nice.
absolutely amazing. It's a Web3 conference and Metaverse conference where we'll be talking and teaching all about Web3, the Metaverse, um, how to, with the blockchain, NFTs, all those wonderful topics, buzzwords, and solving and minimizing and simplifying everything for everyone.
Now, is this open to the public? Is this a ticketed event? How do people get involved with that?
You can definitely register. We will have the website available. I will definitely share that with you in the coming weeks. Website,
Okay.
as well as
We can
where
put it
to
out for
register,
everyone.
how to register, and all those wonderful
Great.
things. And you can definitely let your audience know, as well as we'll let everyone else know, and love to see you guys there.
Oh, yeah, that would be great. We'll share it on the board. We'll talk about it in here once we have the information. William's here pretty much every week. So as soon as, if he's here and you send me the information, we can make sure we get it out to everybody. That'd be great.
Beautiful. That would be wonderful. Thank you.
So what other things within, Web3, crypto, NFTs, any of that stuff, what else have you done or what else would you like to do going forward?
Um, our next projects that we will be working on, like we said, we're definitely doing the conference next,
Mhm.
as well as moving forward, educating more people on Web3 and the metaverse. So that's a really big project. Um, I came into all metaverse platforms with the notion of wanting to help and educate businesses, people, and things like that. So then that way, people will know the direction on where they need to go, as far as channeling their business and the next level of the internet.
I
So I
love
do
it. I love
intend to
that.
continue to do that. Yeah, absolutely.
Education for
Absolutely.
us is a big thing. That's why we do our show. So that's also, we love to have people come on and share with us their experiences, also, everybody here is, learning something. There's some people who are
Absolutely.
experts in, certain things. We've got Aussie guy who's a world builder. We have other
Wonderful.
people who do MREs. We have some people who do, kits and things like that. But everybody's learning as they go because, you might know a ton, but each day something new comes up,
Oh,
and or
absolutely. I
something
agree with that.
changes. Yeah, so, we love to hear people helping others learn because there are some people in here who really want to do more. And then there's some
That's
other
very
people who are
true.
just here for the enjoyment, and that's fine too. Everybody has
Yeah,
to enjoy.
absolutely. So our next journey, not only will it be education, but like I mentioned earlier, I've also created quite a few distilleries. So, educating individuals on various brands and how they've come about and all those wonderful things. And just basically having events surrounded by those particular brands than the distillery. Um,
We actually have a
and
guest that's usually here that
mhm,
I think you would be great to connect with. Her name is Wine
wonderful.
Chick Kim, and she comes in here
Okay.
and she does wine events where she talks about the different wines. She also has done other ones for the holidays, like she did coquito and other alcohol drinks. She's done bourbon, she's done whiskey. So
Oh,
you and her should
wow.
collaborate and talk because she would
Absolutely.
probably love to come to your events.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I that would be beautiful. Yes, absolutely. Would
It's
definitely
great
love
to
to connect
for
with her.
people to cross platform too. I think
Oh,
that's nice.
yes. That's a really big proponent of ours is to definitely do cross-platform promotions because some platforms have one thing that maybe another platform doesn't always have. So we do more than likely utilize at least two, are now utilizing at least two or more platforms in order to get our message out for different brands and things of that
Okay.
nature. So, mhm,
That's great. I mean,
absolutely.
I'll be looking to see if you do things in here. I would love to more things in AltSpace along those lines as well.
Yes, yes. We're definitely talking about a future plan on coming into AltSpace and how to incorporate AltSpace within our platforms as well. So
Love
we're
that.
very excited about, yes, we're very excited about the expansion and like we said, promoting more businesses as well as educating them and making sure that they're on the right track. I recently created another platform that's called Small Business Instances where for businesses that are not quite ready for a world build just yet, because some can be very pricey, depending on
Mhm.
what's needed and what is wanted, who are not quite ready. And just even on the educational level, would like to a little bit more experience on coming in. Maybe they are ready and they would just like a little bit more knowledge about, how everything works. Um, we do actually have a platform where they can come in and utilize our platform and just perform their service. Everything is set and ready to go. One example is we actually have soundboard therapy, which I mentioned a little bit earlier, the therapy and meditation office.
Mhm.
That will be primarily for businesses to come in and to perform their services with people within Horizon Worlds or their own clientele to make sure that they're getting the proper mental health or however they need to connect with them within therapy. So
Okay.
that's one of my yeah, just a little example of our small business instance. And each business can open up their own instance, and no one can disturb them. And it's an awesome thing.
Love it. I love that.
Wonderful.
So now
Thank
if
you.
people from here, because obviously
Mhm,
everybody here is an AltSpace user and maybe not everybody is a Horizon user, they go over to
mhm.
Horizons, how do they find you?
They can actually search me. Click on the People tab, click on the search menu, and type Nello, and I'll pop up.
Like we have up on the board.
Yes. That's me.
Okay. And
Uh-huh.
then will your
Absolutely.
worlds come up if they go over there and type that in? Will it show your worlds or will it take you to where
Yes.
you are? Okay.
Yep. So they have just updated our menus as to where it does show a picture of us as well as a list of our worlds just below, um, our picture and things
Okay.
like that. So be able to search all 10 of, or is it all 10 of my worlds? And,
Nice.
um, and yeah, and have a great time.
10 worlds and more to come.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Well, it's amazing. I really do enjoy creating over there. I will say that, and as
Nice.
well as expanding to other platforms.
Now, do you have you done anything in VR? Is that on your list at all?
I'm sorry. What was?
In VR chat, you done
Oh,
anything in
VR
there?
chat.
Mm,
I have. I've dabbled with VR chat.
okay.
um, I still have to find an avenue over there in VR chat. It's a wonderful platform from my understanding. Um, Yet as soon as we figure out the proper avenue to go over
Mhm.
into VR chat, then that's when, yeah, we'll definitely explore a little bit more and expand. It's kind of like expanding with a franchise, and adding more with adding more platforms to your belt. That's one thing I will say. So, right now, we're definitely doing Horizon Worlds and Multiverse
Mhm.
and looking to explore more so over here in AltSpace. Um, VR chat will definitely, like I said, we'll have to explore our avenues over in that particular
Goals for the future.
realm. Yeah. Whereas places like Decentraland, that's a little bit more self-explanatory where, you can create, your different POAPs and things like that, or your different NFTs, and people can go over and seamlessly shop, so commerce is literally a thing over there. Whereas here under the Quest, we have to utilize these different platforms to kind of get what we actually get in Decentraland. So that's the
Right,
only
right.
thing. Yeah.
So for those of you who aren't familiar with Decentraland, I mean that's a completely different app that you process on. I mean you access on your computer, but you do
Absolutely. It's
have it's a
PCVR.
virtual reality, but it's different. You're not as immersed like you are in here, but you have a lot
Yes,
more functionality.
absolutely, absolutely. And way more capabilities as far as when it comes to commerce and all those wonderful things. So, I'm literally diving into what the metaverse will really feel like, and what it
Mhm.
should really feel like. That's one thing that I will say. So, yet, you know, experimenting with, or not experimenting, but being on free platforms such as the ones that are, here on the Meta Quest, you can still do great in these particular realms. You just have to be a lot more creative. That's one thing that I will say.
For sure. And, I mean, it's
Mhm.
funny because we think back, not so many years ago, virtual reality was literally just a game. It was a game.
Right.
People would
Yeah.
go on, you would be in an arcade. There'd be this. I remember doing it was, I think it was Jurassic Park, and you sat inside the thing and it closed everything around you and you had the 3D feel, and they were calling that virtual reality. I look back at it now and I'm like, that had nothing on what we do now, but they called it virtual reality. And it's like in systems and stuff worth thousands and thousands of dollars. You couldn't get it unless you like were really into tech and you saved up and had that kind of stuff. Now it's accessible to everybody, and it's not
Yeah.
just games. It's games, it's events, it's businesses. Like you were saying, we have storefronts over here as well. We have a few places that within AltSpace that people have set up, like little malls, and people have opened shops and put up their
Mhm.
services. There's the Mall of the
Absolutely.
Metaverse. There's also Market in Meta. There's a few places like that over here. Um,
Yes.
so now you're getting, not only people doing commerce, you've got people, hosting events, like something similar to what
Mhm.
we're doing now. We have Sherwin in the audience who does all types of productions and events in the metaverse. And then,
Awesome.
you've got people who are coming in and they're, holding, like we talked about earlier, business conferences. You're
Yes.
here, you've got a Japan office, you guys are on the headsets together, sit 2 feet apart having your meeting. It's, it's funny. It's more personal than Zoom.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah,
Zoom,
it
everybody's
is.
staring at your camera on your computer, and you just, oh, when is this meeting over? In
Yeah.
here, it's so much more interactive and fun.
Yes,
So it's one way
absolutely.
to get your
And
employees more involved.
absolutely. And then there are way more different experiences that can actually be incorporated within, those meetings to it's almost kind of like having, when companies sometimes take certain employees on company retreats and things like that. So now you can have that kind of like as an everyday thing, not necessarily a retreat, but more so like experiences that can actually be added in to make the meetings go a little bit more smoother and seamless.
Mhm.
And things like that. So,
Yep.
definitely have experienced those things. A little game room, and things like
Mhm.
that. It's yeah, those are just some of the things that, companies are actually looking to do to make work a little bit more exciting and, the experience a little bit more enjoyable. So,
Last week, we actually talked about augmented reality. We began our little journey on there, and we talked about
Yeah.
how businesses are implementing augmented reality, both brand from a branding standpoint with the cross platform of in IRL product and digital product at the same time. The QR
Mhm.
codes and all that stuff. So that I see that as becoming something far more utilized now than it was, but that also is just another avenue, a part of all the Web3 that we're going down, that people are implementing for business purposes. So once again, it starts out as, chasing Pokemons around the yard. And next thing you know, people are selling thousands of dollars of product because people were able to try it on and, see it before they buy it. So there's a
Absolutely.
lot of
Absolutely.
opportunities. Mhm.
Absolutely. And that's even, being explored even in platforms such as Meta Horizon Worlds, where you have builders that are creating um, almost like digital twins and things like that.
Mhm.
So you have beautiful things that are going on these platforms, and the partnerships with various companies have been immense and far beyond, what some people have ever imagined. So yeah, it's great.
It's super exciting time we're living in right now. It really is.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, I have never
If you
thought, that some of the brands that you actually come in contact with is like, "Oh, okay, this is
right.
amazing."
And they're
Yeah,
involved in here, and sometimes it's behind the scenes and you hear about it afterwards. If you had any
absolutely.
advice that you could impart on to people who are looking to get involved to do, like, building worlds and things like that that you do,
Mhm.
what would it be?
One thing that I will say is choose your platform and something. It definitely whatever your platform is, first start there, and then research what would be the best platform for you and for your platform. So let's say it's um, AltSpace because you're a great Unity developer as well as deal with a little bit of Blender. Um, bring and you're also able to sell NFTs and display your NFTs and things like that and create your own space. Maybe you will want to definitely explore AltSpace. If you're not that much of a builder, yet you still have NFTs that you would like to, present and things of that nature, definitely explore Multiverse. Great space. It's all online, as well as you can stand within your build and add things, pictures, and just like, what you do over here. Yet
Okay.
it's a little bit more of a simpler process. If you're more of a hands-on person, and you can see shapes, you can see different items, and you have all these different visions. I definitely encourage you to do Horizon Worlds. I encourage everyone to do Horizon Worlds because it will shock you sometimes the things that people actually do create and the creativity that actually comes out of them. They're shocked, you know.
Mm.
Um, I once had someone that said, they're just not a builder, not a builder. And I said, well, it seems like you have a pretty creative mind. I want to see what you can do. So I opened up a blank world, had them open up a blank world. We jumped in, showed them the basic tools and how to use them. Next thing you know, this guy, he actually built a world called Art in the Park. His name is Jay Hollywood. Did an amazing job. Has an electric bike over there. I mean, just did an immense job. So whenever someone does ask me about building, world building, and things of that nature, I see that you're very interested. I'll definitely take you along. Hey, open up a blank world. Let's see what you can do. I'll show you the basic tools, basic route, and you'll build from there.
There you go.
So
You're
it's
giving
it's
them the
it's been
sketch
great.
pad with the crayons. There you go.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, if you have NFTs and you're ready to sell product, you actually have product to sell, and you have your trademarks already in place, and all those wonderful things. I definitely encourage you to go over to Decentraland. Wonderful, wonderful place where you can, as well as the sandbox, but wonderful, wonderful place where you can do beautiful commerce as well as sell and do all those wonderful things. So explore those different platforms, know what your platform is, and then you'll be able to choose the right platform for you and your brand.
So that goes to show that,
Absolutely.
you can hang out here every night, have fun with your friends, but you can do work in other places as well. So, there's no harm in,
Absolutely.
playing around and going and checking other places out as well. I know we all gonna get into our comfort zone, and that's fine.
Hmm.
But at the same time, it's good to be able to, check other things out. And if you don't want to go over there and create your own things, go over and check out someone else's creations. Now I want to
There
go
you
see what
go.
you've created. So,
Absolutely, absolutely. Like Mark Zuckerberg said, what was that year before last for Meta Connect? One thing that he did state, and this is what prompted me to say, okay, I'm definitely, purchasing a headset, is everyone will have a business in here. So that lets me know that, well, everyone has a business, everyone will have a world. And
right.
world creation will be much more easier in which it has become. And now it's
Hmm.
literally just time for you to set up your brand. He, pretty much vouched it again for this past Meta
Hmm.
Connect. Set up your business, do business in here. You've invested in this wonderful headset, and it's a great, great, it's have several different great platforms in here that you can actually utilize for free, or you can create your own VR platform. So that's the wonderful thing about this is that the headset low entry barrier, for people to actually come in, 300, 400, $500. That's not bad considering, like you said earlier, they were thousands of dollars.
Right.
It started, I remember the cheapest headset was by Microsoft and it was $3,000. Well, that's
Mm,
not a low barrier of entry for anyone, really, for most people, should I say.
of
I
course,
won't say
yeah.
anyone, but for most people. So, with this better access, you can make your money back so long as you put your platform up. You can still have an amazing time in here with friends, meet great people, have genuine conversations with people. I continuously say that and encourage it. And
Mm.
you can network like no other in any platform. So that's the beauty of this.
This is definitely an amazing place for networking. I mean, whether you're making friends, making business partners, sharing your goals,
Absolutely.
or sharing, your business with other people, the networking in here is amazing. You've got,
Yeah.
places to go and hang out and talk. You've got places to go and, interact and do business. It
Mhm.
definitely does afford you that. You either, whether you're making friends or making business partners, there's a lot of
Absolutely.
opportunity in here for everybody.
Absolutely, absolutely. There are quite a few great places that I will say that have been, developed on these different platforms. And I'm just so proud that, a lot of worlds are, becoming more and more consistent and successful, um, as time goes on. So,
Sure.
absolutely,
Let's open up
absolutely.
the audience and see if anybody has any questions that they'd like to ask you. If anybody wants to talk or to share anything or to ask a question of Nello, if you look down at your right hand side, you'll have your raise hand button. You just press that and it will let us know that you'd like to talk to her. We can give you a microphone. Don't be shy.
I
You've
may
got
have covered
questions, she's got
everything.
answers.
Oh, goodness.
Now, William, who's in the audience, he's the one who actually told us that we needed to
Yes.
meet you, which I'm glad he
Yes.
did. So, how did you two meet? Did you meet in here or did you meet over in Horizon? How did you guys connect?
We met over in Horizons, actually. I was
Okay.
literally doing a tour at one of my homes. I have an entertainment home over there, as well as I've created a home for that's the setting is Lagos, Nigeria. So I was in the entertainment home, which is the Detroit home, Detroit Alethea home. And I heard someone come in and says, "Who's from Detroit?" So come to find out, we're from the same area, and and yes, that's
Oh,
how we
wow.
met over in Horizon World, and have been great friends ever since. Um, and developed an amazing time in creating even such as this conference that's coming up. So
Love it.
it's just been awesome. He's an amazing person. That's one thing I will say.
As big as the metaverse is, it's actually still just a small world.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely
Ready for
amazing.
Juice? Okay, we have a question.
Okay.
Yes, hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi, okay, great. Great interview. So earlier you were talking about your partnership or collaboration with the wine company.
Hmm.
So,
Yes.
okay, so did you approach them? Did they approach you? If you approached them, how did they already know about the metaverse? How did you introduce it to them? What was
Well,
that, what did that look like?
well, that interaction, I will say, I'll just give you a general outlook on approaching companies um, as a whole. Is some companies are more knowledgeable about the metaverse and than others. You have some who are ready to come in, yet they still would like a little bit more education on how this actually works. They've heard about it and all those wonderful things. That's where my company comes in, and we actually have a format as to where we educate people and companies based upon the platform and what is needed. So that's Nelo 28 primarily does is building and consulting. So the Alethea Winery is more so like our within our small business instances um, that I shared a little bit earlier. So we actually just feature various wine brands who are looking to come into the metaverse. We have some that are willing to reach out and doing an amazing job with that. And then we also have, some account execs that actually um, reach out to different brands who are looking to come in or be educated more so about the metaverse and Web3.
Great question. Great answer. Anyone else have any questions? Do you have anything else that you'd like to share with us about your journey or about your future?
Um, well, the one thing that I will say is it's an amazing journey. I really enjoy the new interaction because this is all new for all of us, whether we're creating our own new marketing channels or however those particular things look, whether we're dealing with brands or this is just a passion project and coming in on your own. Um, this is an amazing journey. Um, for my first entire world was a world dedicated to my daughter. Then while I'm actually
Oh,
working in here, actually has a place to go.
nice.
that
I
was
love that.
that
That's
was
great.
yeah, that was the first world that I ever created.
Family
Um,
build.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. And far as the journey and on where things are going, our brand, different brands, they're definitely expanding. And we're super excited on the future and what's to come. And just be on the lookout for all the new platforms that Nelo 28 as well as Nelo will be
Nice.
will be
Love
distributed in
it.
here within various metaverse platforms. So thank you guys.
Good.
Thank you everyone.
I wanted to point out that Wine Chick Kim, who I thought you should meet, is in the audience. So, Kim, after
Wonderful.
this
Hello.
interview, you guys should at least catch up. I know you missed it. She came in a little late, but she
Okay.
built wineries over in Horizon Worlds, and she actually hosts events over there. I think it would be great for you guys to connect so you could talk, and then maybe
Yeah,
also you could tell her about your events. So maybe you want to go to her events. So I thought that would be great for you two to connect.
absolutely. Absolutely. I
Oh, if there's
appreciate
no
that.
more questions, yeah, of course. I love connecting people. It's all about networking and teaching and learning. It's wonderful. And we love
That's
sharing
very true.
experiences here.
Absolutely, absolutely. And just to share a little bit really
Yeah.
fast about the picture that you have listed right there, that's actually one of the companies that I partner with over in Horizon Worlds Tower Gardens.
Okay.
There was, yes. So there was a build that was requested for the Tower Gardens. Those are their actual Tower Gardens. And for more information, you can always look up Tower Gardens online and purchase
Nice.
them. It's where you can actually grow vegetables indoors. It's a beautiful system
Wow.
as
Okay,
well as
that's
fruits
great.
and vegetables. Absolutely,
Little
absolutely,
sustainability.
absolutely. Or you can visit over in Horizon Worlds and get a little bit more information there as well. And kind of
Perfect.
get a
I love
hands-on
it.
feel of how they look. Yeah.
And if any of you want to, learn any more, you can go to Nelo28.com. So if you see up right up there, Nelo28, and you can check out her website, see her services. There's a little bit of Horizon stuff over there, and hopefully we'll
Yeah,
see more and more
absolutely.
expanding. That's great.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate you coming on tonight to talk to us. This has been a great interview. Love learning about your journey. Can't wait to come see your work in reality, in virtual reality.
Yes.
But definitely want to come see it. And I
Wonderful.
appreciate,
Thank you.
William connecting us here. As I said at the beginning, I'll say it again. Any of you want to come up here and tell us about your journey, or you know somebody who's out here that you think it's worth us listening to how they're doing and what they're doing, please just either DM me or come see me or drop us a line in Discord. Check out our socials and connect with us somewhere. Send us this info because we want to bring you guys up here. This is about learning and it's about teaching, but it's also about sharing experiences. It's important that we all learn from each other. And what this is how we make the
Absolutely.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Of course. So thank you, everyone. And thank you, Nello. And we will see you all next week. And next week, we have Miggy coming back on to talk to us. And he's got some new stuff to talk to us about next week. We're going to talk about some new interesting stuff that he's involved in. And
Good.
we will see you then. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you.